Good evening, I'm Brendan Miller. Thanks for joining us. At approximately 10 a.m., Thunder Bay OPP Detachment, Fire and Emergency Services responded to a two-vehicle collision on Highway 17 involving a commercial vehicle and a passenger vehicle. The driver of the passenger vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported. The OPP Northwest Region Traffic Incident Management and Enforcement Team and OPP Collision Reconstructionists are assisting in the ongoing investigation. The highway has since reopened just after 5 this evening. One person has been charged for impersonating a police officer in Dryden. Ontario Provincial Police responded to a motor vehicle collision back in April. Though through the investigation, it was learned that the towing company attending the scene was not the towing company dispatched by police. Further investigation revealed the towing company impersonated law enforcement in order to be dispatched to the scene. A 41-year-old Mississauga man was charged and is scheduled to appear in court in late January. TBTs has an annual tradition of giving back to communities across northwestern Ontario during the holiday season. The 12 Days of Christmas initiative sees their staff partnering with local organizations to make a positive impact. TBTs recently released a compilation video showing all of those random acts of kindness. Jaden Billick has the story.
The holidays are the perfect time to spread a little Christmas cheer throughout our communities. This is TBTs 12 Days of Christmas.
TBTs has concluded their 9th year of delivering surprises, supporting local organizations to make the holidays a little more merry and bright. This year, the company focused their support to not-for-profits across the region with donations and Christmas surprises. Communications coordinator Caitlin Gaspar was part of the planning process and says it's a good feeling to find worthy causes and support them during the holiday season.
We really go through a list of what we did in previous years and what's needed in the community. So like I had said, food insecurity is really huge. So that was a big focus this year, and just helping people where they think they need it this Christmas. So TBTs is really big on giving back to the community. So this is just one campaign that we can do each year when we know times are tough.
The 9th day was the busiest of the company's festive initiative. Regional TBT dealers engaged in charitable activities supporting many smaller towns across the region. Their efforts included purchasing and distributing gift cards at local businesses, providing groceries, delivering hot lunches to schools, and surprising charitable organizations in need. Gaspar gives more insight into their endeavors.
So our authorized dealer in Dryden and Sioux Lookout, they actually gave back backpacks to the out of the cold shelters. So they filled up backpacks with much needed items. So they gave back to those shelters. Atikokan did hot lunches for 2 of the schools there as well. Terrace Bay, they did 7 different gift cards for local organizations to give back. Our authorized dealer in Red Lake, they gave back to the food bank there as well.
TBTs donated thousands of dollars to community supporting organizations, putting smiles on the faces of the recipients and the employees themselves who dedicated their own time to making sure that this year's initiative was yet another success.
It's really great to see the response from organizations when we reach out. Everyone's always really surprised. And then when we're out in the public surprising people, everyone just doesn't really know what to say, and they think it's a joke. We had a few people with the gas when we went to K&A. They went up to the till and they had said to the cashiers, "Is this for real?" So it's really nice to see the response. And this was my first year with TBTs doing the campaign, and I'm really looking forward to next year.
Jaden Billick, TBT News.
There's still no word on when the Thunder Bay District Humane Society's low-cost spay and neuter program will be back up and running. The program closed back in May after the shelter's veterinarian resigned. The clinic started back in 2018, and during its 6-year run saw over 14,000 animals receive low-cost spay or neuter services. Executive Director Shauna Bolu says it's extremely important for the team to get the program running again, as it's helped them grow a connection in the community. She notes while there aren't any major updates, they're actively looking for a veterinarian who wants to work full-time in shelter medicine.
It's challenging to find a vet because there is a shortage of veterinarians across North America. There's an overpopulation of animals as well. In our particular case, we need to have a veterinarian that's interested in working in shelter medicine, that's interested in working in Thunder Bay, and that's interested in learning or who knows how to do high volume surgery in respect to opening up the clinic again.
The combination of rain and warmer conditions has left local ski hills at the mercy of the weather. That includes at Camview Nordic Center, where it's been a challenging time for local skiers. Emma Chilton reports.
Camview was unusually quiet on Saturday with no skiers in sight due to the unfavorable weather. Despite starting ahead of last year's winter season, this year's rain has dampened ski hill conditions.
We have been skiing here now, fortunately, for I think about a month and a bit. We have had to shut down once already for rain. We'll shut down again. I still have snow, so that's definitely a plus. So we're definitely still ahead of next year. It's going to be a little tough going, but I think with some hard work and a little bit of luck, we should have some stuff going again here soon.
The mild weather has negatively impacted the trails, forcing temporary closures. The snow beneath the top layer has started to melt, creating unsafe conditions. According to owner Dave Sutty, the trails will remain closed until at least Monday or until the weather improves.
If we have lots of snow, it's not usually a big problem to deal with afterwards, because we have a big grooming machine that we can bring out and kind of bring the snow up from down below and mix it in. When we have low ski conditions like this, or no low snow conditions like this, it's a little bit more difficult to deal with. I'm only dealing with maybe about 5 to 6 centimeters of snow here. So when things do freeze up, I'll probably have to get out the big piston bully and do some grooming with that carefully. And we probably won't have classic tracks right away. It'll be skating, but time will tell. I'll have to see what happens when all this weather stops and starts to freeze up, what we can do.
Sutty is optimistic the season won't be like last year and that it will eventually snow and open the trails again for skiers. Emma Chilton, TBT News.
There is increased pressure tonight on the Canadian government to tighten immigration rules after new bombshell allegations this week by the Indian government that Canadian colleges are playing a role in international students illegally crossing the Canadian border into the U.S. Experts say Ottawa needs to do a better job in trafficking foreign student arrivals and departures. Kamil Karamali reports.
These allegations by Indian officials has led to a flurry of responses, with many who work in the immigration sector saying this highlights some major holes in Canada's immigration system. Earlier this week, an investigation by Indian law enforcement agencies claimed Canadian colleges are involved in a scheme to smuggle international students from Canada to the U.S. It claimed there are operations in India that have agreements with Canadian post-secondary schools to send thousands of people over on student visas. The investigation alleges the Indian nationals don't study in Canada, instead crossing the border illegally to the U.S. after they arrive. One former Border Services Agency officer says, in his experience, taking advantage of Canada's immigration system has been happening for years, and is one of many calling for better screening technology to keep track of foreign students coming and going.
Where we collect the fingerprints and photographs of every non-citizen crossing our border. And we need to also have a process in place where we can confirm the departure of non-citizens from our country.
Migrant advocates warn the pushback from this Indian investigation could result in a slippery slope, targeting those who came to Canada through the proper protocols and plan to stay here.
This is an issue of private actors acting in bad faith. And what we really need to address is how the overall immigration system in this country takes away rights and dignity and justice from migrants.
The RCMP now tells CTV News it's reached out to Indian officials to get more details about the investigation. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.